Hello, this is John from caveofprogramming.com. In this tutorial, we're going to look at the required attribute of the auto-wired annotation. So I've changed this program so that it will use this console writer bean here if it's injected. But if that field, that property is null because the bean hasn't been injected, then the program will still run and it won't try to use it. So the point is here that I've got a bean that I'd like to inject if it exists in my XML. And if it doesn't exist in the XML, then I'm happy not to use it. So at the moment this program works fine. And you can see it says hello there down here, and that's using this console writer bean. If I remove the auto-wired attribute annotation here and then run it again, then we just don't see hello there, but the program still runs. So what I can do is I can add in round brackets here required equals false after auto-wired. And in beans.xml, if the console writer is now present, if that bean is present, exactly as you'd expect, it will use it. But now it's no longer required, so if it isn't present, if there are no matching beans for that set method, then Spring won't complain. It will still run the program just fine. So required does exactly what you'd expect, and it only injects the bean if it is in fact found in the XML. One quick thing I want to mention before we move on we've still got to look at some more stuff in connection with auto-wired, come to think of it. But one thing I want to mention is that auto-wired, sometimes to me, it seems to be surprisingly tolerant of ambiguity, and I have the impression that it's narrowing down beans based on the names of set methods and comparing them to bean IDs and names. But I can't find any documentation on this behavior, and it seems to work inconsistently. So I would recommend that you always try to make sure there's no ambiguity at all when you're using this auto-wired annotation. And if you do have ambiguity and it still works, then don't be surprised, because that seems to happen to me as well. But I just wouldn't rely on it. If I were you, I would recommend really making sure that there is no ambiguity and treating auto-wired as though it purely works by type, unless you know better, of course. Okay, so that's it for this tutorial, and until next time, happy coding.